What kind of monster ties a disabled 7-year-old to a tree just for existing? That's the question I couldn't shake as I bolted out my back door, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest. My daughter, Sophie, was screaming, her voice cutting through the calm of our suburban neighborhood like a shard of glass. I'm James Carter, and I'm not just a dad, I am the assistant commissioner who oversees every HOA in this state. The woman who did this, our HOA tyrant, Helen Brooks, had no idea who she was messing with. She was about to learn the hard way. It was a sunny afternoon in Oakwood Estates, the kind of place where every lawn is manicured to perfection and every mailbox matches. I was on a call with the governor, discussing new housing policies, when Sophie's cries hit me like a freight train. "Daddy, help!" she wailed. I dropped the phone and ran, my dress shoes slipping on the grass as I rounded the corner to our backyard. What I saw stopped me cold. My little girl, my 7-year-old Sophie, was dangling from the big oak tree, her tiny body swaying, her prosthetic legs glinting awkwardly in the sunlight. Ropes were knotted around her waist, and her face was streaked with tears as she clutched at them, terrified. Below her stood Helen Brooks, arms crossed, smirking like she just won a prize. "Mrs. Brooks, what the hell are you doing to my daughter?" I roared, charging toward them. Helen didn't flinch. "Enforcing community standards, Mr. Carter," she said, her voice dripping with disdain. "Those metal contraptions on her legs are an eyesore. She's been sitting in your front yard, flaunting them where everyone can see. It violates Article 7 of our covenant maintaining aesthetic appeal." I couldn't believe it. Sophie's prosthetic legs, the ones she got after a car crash took her legs and her mom 2 years ago, were being called an eyesore? This woman had lost her mind. "Get her down." "No," I snapped, fumbling for my phone to call 911. Helen held up a piece of paper, cool as ice. "Not until you sign this agreement to keep her indoors or in the backyard only. I've had complaints from 4 homeowners already. They don't want to see that." Sophie was sobbing harder now, her small hands gripping the rope. I realized Helen had tricked her, probably told her it was a game to get her up there. My blood boiled. "Do you even know who I am?" I asked, my voice low and steady. Helen scoffed. "Some clueless single dad who doesn't get how Oakwood works. I've run this HOA for 12 years, and I won't let your situation ruin our standards." I didn't tell her I was James Carter, assistant commissioner with the power to shut her little empire down. Instead, I untied Sophie as fast as I could, her trembling body collapsing into my arms. That night, as I held her while she cried herself to sleep, she whispered, "Why doesn't she like my robot legs, Daddy? I thought they were cool. Mommy would have loved them." My heart shattered. Sophie had been so brave since the accident, decorating her prosthetics with stickers of stars and unicorns, calling them her super legs. I kissed her forehead. "Your legs are awesome, just like you, kiddo. Mrs. Brooks is the one who's wrong, and she's not gonna hurt you again. I promise." After Sophie drifted off, I went to my office and pulled Helen's HOA file. I'd moved to Oakwood on purpose, hearing rumors about its toxic HOA, wanting to see it for myself before cracking down. I never imagined they'd target my own kid. I stayed up all night, digging through 5 years of Helen's decisions. By dawn, I had a stack of violations, illegal fines, bullying elderly residents, discriminating against anyone who didn't fit her perfect image. It was a goldmine of corruption. 3 days later, I walked into the HOA meeting with Sophie by my side, her prosthetics sparkling with fresh stickers. The community center went quiet as we entered. Helen was at the front, droning on about fence heights, when she spotted us. "Mr. Carter," she said, her voice tight, "this is an adults-only meeting. And frankly, after our talk, I think you'd be more careful about parading your daughter's condition." Gasps rippled through the room. An older woman clutched her chest. I stepped forward, my voice carrying. "Actually, I'm here as the Assistant Commissioner of Housing Regulations. I've reviewed your HOA's practices, Mrs. Brooks, and I've found violations that could dissolve this board and land you in serious trouble." Helen's face went white. I opened my folder and started reading: discriminatory enforcement, illegal fines, financial mismanagement, and oh yeah, child endangerment. 3 days ago, I said, Mrs. Brooks tied my disabled daughter to a tree in our backyard and refused to let her down unless I agreed to hide her because her prosthetic legs were an eyesore. The room exploded. That's outrageous, someone shouted. Is that true? Another voice called. Helen stammered. I was upholding standards. She was violating. I cut her off. Her name is Sophie. She's 7. She lost her mom and her legs in a crash. And you hung her from a tree. The meeting turned into chaos. Neighbors stood up, sharing their own stories. She fined me for my wheelchair ramp, one woman said. She threatened to evict us when my husband got sick and couldn't mow the lawn, another added. Helen tried to shout them down, but the tide had turned. Effective immediately, I declared. This HOA board is suspended pending a full investigation. All fines are frozen, and we're revising the covenant to prioritize decency over your petty rules. The investigation kicked off the next day. My team tore through Helen's records and found a cesspool of corruption. She'd been skimming HOA funds to la $60,000 over the years for vacations, a fancy kitchen remodel, even a sports car she claimed was for HOA business. When the police showed up at her door with a warrant, I made sure to be there. Her jaw dropped when she saw me with the officers. This is harassment, she shrieked as they cuffed her. You're doing this because of that crippled kid. I stared her down. No, Helen. I'm doing this because you broke the law. Child endangerment, embezzlement, fraud. You're done. Neighbors gathered outside, watching silently. Some clapped as the police car drove off. Helen yelled, You'll pay for this. I know people. I leaned in. So does Sophie. Hers are better. The legal battle dragged on for months, but Oakwood was already changing. Without Helen's iron fist, people started painting their fences bright colors, planting wildflower gardens, letting kids play in front yards. Sophie became the neighborhood's heart. A retired carpenter, Mr. Thompson, built her an accessible treehouse. A seamstress, Mrs. Lee, made custom covers for her prosthetics flowers one day, superheroes the next. For the first time, we felt at home. At Helen's sentencing, Sophie insisted on going. I want to see the mean lady get in trouble, she said. I hesitated but agreed she deserved closure. In court, when the judge asked for victim statements, Sophie raised her hand. I helped her to the front, her prosthetics clicking softly. My name's Sophie Carter, she said, her voice steady. Mrs. Brooks tied me to a tree because she hated my super legs. She made me feel bad about myself. My mommy died in the crash that took my legs, and she always said being kind makes you beautiful. Mrs. Brooks isn't beautiful inside. She hurt me and other people because we're different. She took a breath. I forgive her, because Daddy says hate only hurts you. But she needs to learn it's wrong to be mean. The courtroom was silent. Jurors wiped tears. The judge sentenced Helen to 4 years for embezzlement, plus time for child endangerment, and civil rights violations. She was banned from any HOA role for life and barred from contacting Sophie. As we left, a reporter asked how I felt. Justice isn't just for Sophie, I said. It's for everyone Helen bullied into feeling small. A year later, Oakwood was unrecognizable. We dissolved the old HOA, replacing it with a community group focused on inclusion. Our first project was an accessible playground, and Sophie cut the ribbon, her prosthetics gleaming. At the opening, a woman approached. I'm Clara Brooks, Helen's sister, she said. I tensed, pulling Sophie close. I'm not here to fight, Clara said. I'm sorry for what she did. And thank you. No one ever stopped her until you. She knelt to Sophie. Your legs are amazing, sweetie. Sophie grinned and spun, showing off her new rainbow designs. They help me soar, she said. As we walked home, Sophie asked, Daddy, is it okay I feel a little sad for Mrs. Brooks? I knelt beside her. That's compassion, sophomore. It's what makes you shine. Our oak tree, once a place of pain, now held Sophie's treehouse, where she and her friends played freely. Helen tried to hide my daughter for being different. Instead, Sophie became the spark that turned our neighborhood into a place where every difference is celebrated, proving even the smallest heart can change everything.